Good morning, and thank you, Professor McLemore and all the Sages board to invite me. It's a great honor to be here. Well, it's a little bit difficult to speak after all these experts because they have said everything. Okay. Here my disclosure. Why it's not so evident evolution? It's a natural evolution after eras to switch with SDD. But 7 years after the first publication, it's not a routine procedure. Why? Professor Chu, give us a response, because it's not evident. And when I think about barrier, I want to focus on 2 points. 1 point in our mind, and second point is organizational. We have learned, thought, and teach that a hospital bed is the safest place at the end of the day after a colonic surgery. And we have learned that a IV line, it's a normal painkiller line. And it's completely wrong. Now, if you are the good anesthesiologist, the patient must be less tired than surgeon at the end of the day. So we must switch. We must switch our mind in hospital bed to this man. This man is 6 hours after a colectomy, a left colectomy. And he take a shower, he walk, he feed. Why did it have to stay in the hospital? With educational tools, I explain to the patient that if they are like this man at the end of the day, they can discharge. If they are not like this man, they must stay. It's a deal. And when the patient sees this man like that, they say, okay, if I'm like that, I want to return home. And that's the truth. But we have to switch in our mind between what we think is normal, hospital bed, and what's the new paradigm, home. And it's a disruption. I think that was one of the most important barriers in our mind, but in our team mind too. The second point I want to focus is on the postoperative management. We have the habit to have an in-bed, day-by-day management with morning and evening round, blood draw, and discharge when patients have gas and when are okay. And in this equation, there is our subjectivity. Our subjectivity because we evaluate the patient at each time, twice a day. On the other hand, we must let the patient go without view it. And with home nurse and phone call or digital link, it's explained before. But we have to switch with a priori management. A priori management, what does it mean? It means in my mind that is we switch with out subjectivity management. One part of my personal algorithm is that with items that pulse rate, pain, temperature, intake food, gather stool, patient mobility, CRP, and I have 12 other items, and I classify them in low, mid, and high. And I write something really simple. It's not an algorithm, it's truth, it's evident. Up to 2 mid-level alerts or 1 high-level alert, patient must be considered to have a leak or peritonitis until proven otherwise. And this patient must coming back to be seen at the hospital. Without there's no subjectivity. And in my mind, that's work very well. To prove that, some little examples I'm sure you can recognize yourself in. In bed procedure, it's POD3 after rack laparoscopy, colectomy. Morning round, patient is a little bit painful, little fever, small nausea, no gas, no stool. But when I ask him, how do you feel? I'm not feel bad, but I'm not feel good. I'm not perfect, but it's not okay. Patient don't want to have a problem. The nurse say, oh, it's not too bad, but it's not too okay. Okay, that's right. We'll see on the evening. After a long, long day, a very long day, very well what I mean. I come back. The patient, a little less pain, but he takes some tramadols. Abdomen palpation is exactly the same. He gets some fever, but it's a very warm day, very warm, and in his room it's very, very warm. He's vomiting. But when I see what the hospital give him to feed, I understand why he's vomiting. I don't know how it is in yours, but in mine, it's like I realize that. No gas, no stool, and blood sample is not good. Well, I don't want the patient to have a leak. I ask him, how do you feel? I not feel good, but I not feel bad. I ask the nurse, is not feel so bad. Okay. I don't want to see what it's evident. He had a leak, but I want to see, to focus on that. So I say, okay, we'll see on tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning, it's evident. The same patient with the same constant in the morning had 3 mid-level alerts and 1 high-level alert in my algorithm. So in my algorithm, I say, okay, you're coming back, and I see you with in my mind, you have a leak. And that's my follow-up algorithm. And he come back at noon, and I can see him with another point of view. That's what I mean to eliminate my subjectivity in the postoperative follow-up. And I think when we are in same-day discharge, we can do better than in-bed discharge with that sort of reasonment. That's what I want to say after all this brilliant expert, but it's not very easy for me. Thank you for your attention.